purpose. I did. Good evening. Call the Broken Arrow City Council meeting to order. We have invocation by Pastor Conley. Oh, you have your whole crew with you. Nice.
If you guys would bow your heads and close your eyes with me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight and we are so thankful to be where we are. God, that we have the freedoms we do and that we get to live in the city that we do. We pray that tonight you'd fill us with wisdom and discernment and all the things that we need. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Roll call.
Pickle. Green.
Here.
Ford.
Here.
Parks.
Here.
Wimpy.
Here. I have items I and K.
Pledge.
Oh, so sorry. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance with Vice Mayor Parks.
Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What a Boy Scout out there.
That was loud and boastful. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right. On the consent agenda, I have items I and K. Are there any other items to be pulled?
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as it stands minus items I and K.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item I is approval of and authorization to execute resolution number 1751, a resolution creating the Medical Service Program Fund, also known as Life Ride Fund, as committed fund balance, providing for its purpose, authorizing transfer of existing balances, and directing implementation. Sorry.
Say that again.
Implementation.
You too, Nick.
Thank you. So,
Yeah, so good evening, members of council. Before you tonight is a resolution that's actually creating a separate fund to actually put all of the Life Ride funds that we receive into there. We believe that basically, as you know, we have well over 40 funds for the city since the inception of the program. The funds were put in with the general fund, and through the budget and accounting process, they were distributed accordingly. But after looking at all of our funds, we feel that it would be best to create the fund to actually move those funds in there for full transparency. So that's what this resolution identifies this evening.
okay. Thank you for clarifying that, because there's been miscommunication online saying that it was going the opposite way and would be able to be used for anything. But this clarifies that it's going to specifically, it's going the absolute opposite of that.
That's correct, Mayor. It goes for the program itself to help fund the EMS division of the fire department, as well as the administrative charge for basically handling the program with the collections, processing claims, and so forth. And then it specifically says that if anything, the only thing it can be used for is related to the program itself.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or discussion?
Have anybody signed up to speak on this matter?
Yes. Keith Hayes.
I actually have a couple different questions. One, I wanted to speak about Life Ride, but I also want 1751, and all these are just questions that you guys can even look at it, read it, but I don't want it to take up my time is my issue.
Okay, are those the same questions you've submitted before that have been
This
answered?
is for 1751 exactly, and you answered one,
Okay.
which I appreciate. But
Okay.
they're here if you guys want to look at them, and I don't want it to take up my
Okay, so
3 minutes.
can we just submit those?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to give them to Curtis?
There's none up there, I think.
Okay, thank you.
And then I can wait. So I'll talk on Life Ride on, or I can talk about it now, it doesn't matter.
Well, you signed up to talk on
Okay.
5I, so,
Yeah, that's fine. So good evening, Mayor and council members, and all my veterans behind me, brothers. I want to be clear that I am not arguing whether the city of Broken Arrow has the authority to provide ambulance services or charge fees associated with Life Ride. My concern is much narrower. I have searched ordinances, public records, and city statements regarding LifeRide. What I have not found is a clear legal authority allowing city to impose mandatory fees on utility customers without a vote of the people, and then enforce the collection fee through utility billing system. I have not found that anywhere. But think about, what concerns me more is the public statement that you had made, Mr. Spurgeon, which was you made it mandatory for the citizens who were choosing to opt out. To me, what that really is you have removed the choice, and it's telling people that wanted to opt out, you removed the choice. Now I have no choice, and you forced it upon me and made me participate. So I have a simple question for this council, and please ask me, and I've done this on Facebook too. Anybody that's listening, do you believe it is right to force citizens to pay for something that they do not want or need under the threat of losing access to essential services such as water without the vote of the people and without their consent? That's what this is about. If your answer is yes, then what limits exist on that authority? If the answer is no, then why is LifeRide mandatory? This is not whether EMS is valuable. We all know it is. It's a valuable service, and I want it. I don't want to pay for it because I pay enough for insurance. That's me personally. There are others that are just like me. This is about consent, accountability, and trust in government. In truth, I've been public about this. I have lost faith in that trust because of this. Democratic Republic depends upon the consent of those governed. Consent. When citizens reject a program, government should persuade them, improve the program, or seek voter approval. Do not eliminate my ability to choose. I fought for that. We have found examples around the country, and this is where I was wrong on Facebook, by the way, where legal challenges are being challenged right now, the exact same thing, and it's going on right now. That should concern all of us. I believe more and more citizens will continue to speak up as they learn about the mandatory nature of enforcement of LifeRide. A change is coming. The question is whether that change comes through cooperation and reform or through years of litigation that will ultimately be paid for by very citizens this program is supposed to serve. If this issue ends up in court, the taxpayers of Broken Arrow will bear that cost as well. I do not want that outcome. I would rather that we work together and we fix this together. Don't take my choice away. Even God gives us a choice. He gives us a choice. That's all I'm asking for. Give us the right to choose a vote of the people.
Trevor, can you address where you spoke on that what we're doing is not constitutional?
I'm happy to, Mayor. I would advise that at this point, with the threats of litigation, that any discussions...
Not threatening. I'm saying I don't want it to go.
Online you did, though. You did.
Did I?
Several
I
times.
apologize. I'm not threatening with litigation. I don't want that. Honestly, I don't want that. I don't. Let's work together. I'm here.
Mayor, I would advise that all comments should be directed to you as the chair. And so what I was trying to say is that since there are threats of litigation that have been mentioned and noticed, any further discussion about this from a legal perspective would be done in executive session. That's my recommendation.
Okay.
I will say this, we've provided at least 3 responses to the Attorney General's office outlining the legal basis for collecting the fee. And Mr. Hayes has that material. And so I would just leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I don't have that
And
material.
we'll get the answers to these questions.
There's nothing in
Can-
there that says you can.
Hold on, Mr. Hayes. Can I pose a question?
Yes, please. I want to
Is
work
that-
together.
I understand that. Yeah. Do you have a recommendation?
Absolutely. 100%. And I'm willing to work with you. If you want to call me. Howard, I'm sorry. I don't know how the process works. If you want to call me, I'm more than welcome to sit down with you. And at one time, now I won't discuss what I have found legally. That's not my job. That's his. I'm not threatening. Take that away from that. I didn't mean to. If I do, I recant that. Take it away. I'm not threatening with litigation. But we all know it's a possibility, right? I don't want that. That means I have to pay for it. But do I have a solution? Absolutely, and it's a tough one. And I'm willing to dig into it and do it for anybody.
I'll reach out to you offline. We can have a conversation.
You got it, 918-407-9000, call me. Well, it'll go straight to voicemail. You have to leave one because of spam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item K is approval of and authorization to execute a risk management services agreement with Aero Group. a
Mayor,
division-
if I may, there's still a vote pending on
Oh,
the item.
I didn't know that we had to do anything. Oh, we do. Okay, so sorry. Entertain a motion to approve.
So this motion would be to approve setting up the fund
Setting
that
up the
was
fund.
specifically, that if we addressed earlier.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. All right, item K. Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council members, Mr. Spurgeon. I had asked this item be removed from the consent agenda this evening. After final review by the legal team, it was discovered that some language needed to be added into the indemnification clause. So I would ask that you approve the item absent the agreement that was submitted with the agenda item. And then we will work on the indemnification clause that needs to be added to the contract. And once that's finalized with myself, the Aero Group, and the legal team, we'll re-forward that for approval.
So what portion would we be approving?
You're approving the contract in itself. The contract is with the Aero Group, which is our broker for property casualty insurance. And everything in the contract would remain the same, except, again, the indemnification clause.
Okay.
No changes to the contract.
If I may, Councilor Green, the motion would be approve the contract, subject to amendment on the indemnification clause.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trevor.
Entertain a motion.
I'd make that motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Item 7, public hearings, appeals, presentations, recognitions, and awards. 7A, presentation and award to Lisa Ford for her distinguished service to the City of Broken Arrow of 25 years, combined service as a city employee and city council member. Hi.
I have the privilege this evening to recognize Councilmember Ford for serving over half of her life in municipal government. She has 25 years combined service with the city, 21 years or 20 years as an employee within the police department. She has done some extraordinary things both in her city service and her city council member service, and I'm going to highlight some of those. But I want to share my appreciation of her continued service, again, for the 25 years. Throughout her tenure, Councilmember Ford has demonstrated a strong dedication to public service, professionalism, and the continued growth and success of the Broken Arrow community. Her contributions have supported the city's mission to provide high-quality service and enhance the quality of life for our residents. Prior to becoming a city council member in 2021, Councilmember Ford spent 20 years as a crime prevention specialist for the Broken Arrow Police Department. I believe she had instituted the Citizens Police Academy, and she coordinated over 10 of those programs, which is great. I appreciate that. I was not here, but I do believe that that service has continued on. She was a liaison for the BAPD Chaplains, the Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association, and the Fraternal Order of Police Auxiliary. She served as the administrator for BAPD social media platforms and responsible for bringing additional funding to her crime prevention unit by writing community grants. There's so many things that I got to read and learn about Councilmember Ford. We've had the opportunity to work together over the last several months on the WIMAGE conference. And she's been a great asset to that as well. Ms. Ford has been married to her husband, State Representative Ford, for 45 years, and she has 2 grown children and 5 grandchildren. And again, I'd like to provide you this pin and a certificate of service for your 25 years of service.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you want to go down and we can all join you?
That's just mean.
Fantastic.
All right. Keeping with Lisa Ford. Item B is presentation and proclamation and the key to the city by Councilwoman Lisa Ford to Jeff and Bonnie Brown, founders of the Patriot Guard Riders.
So they did not know they were getting the key to the city till like just a second. They're here for also another agenda item. So actually, past state representative. He was a state representative at Fred Perry. Also, he was a county commissioner. Called me, I don't even know, maybe less than a month ago. Got me connected with the Browns and also someone else you're going to meet in a couple of agenda items, and told me the story. And he, Mr. Perry is really good about connecting people. And so, you know, when he calls, I've never told him no. I just like, where do I need to be? And so I want to thank you for that, Fred. You're always a charming man, and I would never turn you down for sure. And thank you for your service to the state and to the county of Tulsa, and for everything you do for the city of Broken Arrow continually still. And so I appreciate that. So it's quite a story. So I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation for the Browns, and then I would like for everyone to come down and help me give them the key to the city, which we do not do very often at all. This is very rare. So whereas the Patriot Guard Riders emerged from long-standing traditions of veterans and motorcycle groups who have gathered at military funerals for decades to show honor, dignity, and respect to Americans' fallen heroes, and whereas the nationwide movement known today as the Patriot Guard Riders began with Jeff Twister Brown, a Vietnam-era United States Air Force veteran and proud resident of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, whereas in 2005, after participating in the Run for the Wall and the Rolling Thunder Memorial Day events in Washington, D.C., experiences that profoundly reconnected him with his identity as a veteran, Jeff Brown became involved in standing guard at military funerals targeted by protest groups, ensuring that grieving families could honor their fallen loved ones with dignity. And whereas on November the 8th, 2005, while riding to honor PFC David Martin in Edmond, Oklahoma, Jeff Brown recognized the need for an organized method to alert riders of upcoming military funerals requiring support, sparking the idea that would become the Patriot Guard Riders. And whereas that same night, Jeff Brown emailed veterans and motorcycle groups across the nation, resulting in an overwhelming and immediate response, volunteers stepped forward to build a communication network, web operations began, and a national organizational structure with state captains quickly emerged. And whereas within the first year of the Patriot Guard Riders grew from a grassroots effort born in Broken Arrow into a national movement of more than 70,000 members united in their mission to protect the sanctity of military funerals and honor the sacrifices of American service members. And whereas today the Patriot Guard Riders number nearly 400,000 volunteers across the United States, serving as a powerful symbol of unity, patriotism, and unwavering respect for those who serve and have served in the armed forces. And whereas Jeff Brown, together with Bonnie Brown, has demonstrated exceptional civic dedication and compassion, contributing immeasurably to the founding growth and noble mission of the Patriot Guard Riders. And whereas the city of Broken Arrow honors residents whose actions bring pride, unity, and distinction to the community and the nation. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma does hereby recognize and commend Jeff Twister Brown and Bonnie Brown for their extraordinary leadership, patriotism, and service to the veterans and their families across the United States. Be it further resolved that in gratitude for their profound contributions and in recognitions of the national impact their efforts that began here in our community, the City of Broken Arrow hereby honors Jeff and Bonnie Brown with the key to the city. Fred, you want to come down? You made all this, both of you can come down. Dan, you want to come down? Dan, come on down. Dan? It's a rookie. He doesn't open any of yours, but it's a rookie.
Don't give it to me, I'll lose it.
Y'all want to come over here? We'll get our picture.
Present arm.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Shoulder, arm.
Good. Thanks.
Steady.
You're just a big old.
You know, Mayor, when we had lunch, like I had heard about the organization, but I had no idea it originated in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Were you aware of that? Mm-hmm. I had no idea. So it just blew my mind. I was just so honored to be able to meet them and to hear the story. And, you know, she was telling me that they had so many T-shirts, you know, when they first started, and she had to store them in their bathroom on the walls and, like, you know, try to keep everything all organized in their home and stuff. And so it was my honor to be able to, for the council to be able to do that for you.
No, I can say as commander of the Honor Guard for Tulsa County Sheriff's Office, I've been able to serve alongside of several of these men and women across the state, and they always do a phenomenal job.
Yes. And for a city that honors our veterans so proudly, it makes perfect sense that you guys would be from Broken Arrow and would have started that here. Yeah, so I'm a daughter of a Marine, Vietnam veteran, and my little sister's retired chief in the Navy. So she did 3 tours in 21 years, I believe. So very proud. Very proud to honor you guys. All right, focus. Item C, presentation and annual programming update by the Broken Arrow Senior Center.
So Lori is out of town, well-deserved vacation. She has, you know, big security at her house, so no one tried to go to her house while she's gone. Okay. So Annie is going to, our user groups that we do get reports from, and Annie's going to come and give us a report on the Broken Arrow seniors and let us know how things are going there. So, yes. Annie, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council, City Manager Spurgeon, everyone here in attendance. It's great to meet you all. Sorry, this is my first meeting, so I will do my best. First off, I would love to extend my sincere gratitude and thank the voters of the Broken Arrow community for passing the recent bond. We are all incredibly excited about the opportunities that are in front of us and cannot wait for all of this to come to fruition. So, as you can see, we're very active at the Senior Center. As mentioned in previous years, we are busting at the seams. And one of the things that I think is going to recognize that is we have continued to grow, and at last count, we are at 3,762 members. That is up from December, where we were at 2,651. So we have had quite an increase over the past 6 months. However, there is a huge shout out to City Councilor Lisa Ford on her amazing work on our Facebook page. We noticed that after her post started happening last year, our membership numbers started going towards the sky. So thank you so much, City Councilor, for doing that.
I stopped doing it because we were getting too many people.
We're getting to that point, yes. We have also opened our doors now in both buildings. So both our East Annex and our West Building is open on Tuesdays and Thursdays until 7 p.m. This has allowed most of our working seniors that are still employed to come in and enjoy time after hours if they're not able to make it there during the day. And thank you to Broken Arrow for allowing us to have that opportunity to do that and to be supportive of that. We definitely couldn't do it without you. On average, our attendance has jumped from between 600 and 700 people daily that we see coming in and out of our doors at both locations. It reflects a total programming per month, and this is the hours that they spend doing all of the activities and such, to over 35,000 hours per month in 2026. And that's up from 31,590 hours per month in the 2025 calendar year. Our lunch program is serving over 1,900 meals per month, totaling 22,800 for the 2025 year. And they did have to have a reduction in that, but we're still serving as many people as possible, and they're actually looking at increasing the numbers, was last I heard. One of the biggest things we would like to thank is our volunteers. Without them, I don't think we would be able to do a lot of what we do to help keep the doors open. They come in excited, happy, ready to talk to new members, potential new members, and they had put in over 22,593 hours in the 2025 year. I cannot comment enough on our volunteers and also our staff for all of the hard work that they have put in since I have come on board in October. So thank you guys very much. And if there's anything else, please let me know.
Do you have an event coming up in June?
We do not have an event coming up in June. The decision was made to postpone because we wanted to have an opportunity to really commit to it and allow a year of respite from the past 2 years.
I was going to have you promote it. But
yes, no, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate
year.
that. But yes, absolutely. And we have a lot of great things that are going to happen with it next year, and we're all very excited to be able to focus and put the time and attention to it to make it successful.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys are doing amazing work.
Oh, thank you.
And in 1 year, I get to join you, so.
We look forward to having you.
All right. Item D is presentation regarding road closure at Aspen and Jasper on the west side of the intersection. Charlie Bright.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members, Mr. Spurgeon. My name is Charlie Bright. I'm the Director of Engineering and Construction. Before you tonight is just a presentation about road closures. As you guys know, we do from time to time really just focus on arterial roads. The ultimate authority for road closure falls with Mr. Spurgeon through ordinance, but we like to make it the governing body and the public aware of what's coming up when it's going to be impactful. As you know, we have active construction going on at 131st and Aspen. Like any construction we do, our primary goal is to keep all lanes open, not necessarily all lanes, lanes, but a route, one lane each direction of traffic throughout the duration of construction to make the least impact as possible to those that live in the area. What's happened is the plan under this project was to maintain the intersection being open throughout the entire project with no closures. But being so far south near the river, what has happened is we've hit some really sandy soil the deeper we get down, which we had geotech borings all around the intersection, but somehow we missed a lot of these sand pockets. But as you get down, you get a lot of clay, and then sand, then clay, then sand. And as we've hit these sandy pockets, they've been collapsing on our pits as we dig down for the utilities and such. And what has recently happened is in one of those collapses, the road itself has started to slide and fall a little bit, and so we basically need to replace the whole section of the road on the west side of the intersection, and the only way to do that is going to be able to shut it down and repair that whole road patch. So just want to let you know tonight that we do intend a duration of shutting down the west side of the intersection. We'll get in there and get out as quick as possible. And happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Any questions?
Have a time frame, Charlie?
I believe we want to start it as soon as possible. I'll have to get back to you on the duration. I do not recall off the top of my head, and I'm sorry. I'm mixing two of them in my head, but I think we're going to try to do it within a week. But it might be up to 2. But I will get back and get an answer to it.
Yeah, just let me know so then I can pass along the council members in case anybody receives a call, especially the ward council member.
Yeah, absolutely. I should know the answer, but I'm mixing up this one and another one in my head, and I don't want to give the wrong answer. So let me confirm.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Thank you.
Item E is conduct a public hearing for proposed 26-27 fiscal year budget. Mr. Spurgeon.
So, once again, good evening, Mayor, members of council, also to those in attendance. It is the time of year when we present an overview of the proposed budget for FY 2027. And with your permission, I'd like to go through the highlights for the upcoming fiscal year. As we know that after tonight, the next meeting will be on June 15th when council will consider the adoption of the proposed budget. So the city of Broken Arrow operates on a fiscal year, not a calendar year. So our actually budget cycle is July 1st through June 30th. This year I'm going to start with some recognitions, as I normally do those towards the end. But I do wanted to mention that under the duties and responsibilities of the council members, one of the most important responsibilities the council members have is the adoption of the annual spending plan that we use for the fiscal year. Council members have put a lot of time and effort into preparing for the budget, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of myself and the administration for all the time that you put in, the questions that you asked at the workshop last month to make sure that you have a good understanding of what is being requested for spending for the upcoming year. Next, I'd like to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of all of the leadership team, and that's a member of our leadership team, specifically with the finance director, Cindy Ardle, and her finance team. They're in the audience this evening. Obviously, the budget process is not just something we do like 3 months out of the year. It's continually throughout the entire year. The budget gets adopted, then the department directors are given their spending plans, and then as soon as we finish up the budget, then we begin the process of preparing for the audit for the fiscal years. And then December comes around and we begin to take requests from the directors, and everything culminates with a meeting that we spend in March actually preparing the budget, and then we hold the work session with the council. So Cindy, on behalf of your team and all the directors, thank you for all your hard work. So council understands this because we talked about it, but we have a lot of folks in the audience today. Is the annual municipal budget serves as what I call a blueprint for the following purposes. It gives the governing body an opportunity to review and confirm the priorities for local government, also determine our service levels based on those priorities and how sustainable they are with the resources that we have available. Obviously, our municipality is heavily dependent upon sales tax and franchise fees, and so we go through every single fund every year to make sure that not only the decisions we make today, that they're usually perpetual decisions because they're related to operations, can we be able to afford those operational costs into the future. It's also a thorough plan of the work and how we implement that work in the upcoming fiscal year. So as council members also know, is that our mission, vision, and opportunities of how we accomplish maintaining Broken Arrow as being one of the top 20 cities in America, really we focus on these 5 things. Number one, it's public safety services, and that includes the community's well-being. Secondly is economic development, focusing on growth and prosperity. A lot of times people ask, why do we continue to try to recruit not only sales tax type businesses, but also primary jobs? It mainly is because when you have a thriving community, you need places for people to shop local because we're so heavily dependent upon sales tax. And through the help of the City Council, we have two major projects will come online later this year that will help keep our citizens in Broken Arrow. Those are just one example. Also, our partnership with the Economic Development Corporation to basically to bring more primary jobs to our community. That's one of the most important things we do besides public safety, is actually trying to make sure that we focus on economic development. Innovative municipal government operations. There were many suggestions made to my office, and I approve those. The transition of always looking how we can serve our citizens better, and that's a part of that innovative process we go through every year. Financial sustainability and strategic public investments. The city does not get access to any property taxes to pay for general fund operations or any operations. As a matter of fact, only thing that we get property taxes for are to pay for general obligation bonds that the voters approve. And so by state constitution right now, the city is not allowed to receive any funds from property taxes. And so that's something that I like to remind everybody, is that's why we talk a lot about some of the concerns, is the fact that every year we ask the legislature, and I'm glad that Senator Gillespie's here because last year she initiated a review of municipal finances. Having been on the council for over 5 years, she understands the importance of having revenue not only today but well into the future. And then I believe that we're one of the most transparent cities in the entire country. That's been proven on many, many occasions with the awards we received. We try to tell the public everything we can so they'll know what's going on in City Hall as well as within the community. Now, next thing I wanted to mention is our budget actually is a policy document for the council members. It's also a financial plan. It gives all the directors the guidance that they need to be able to run their departments on a day-to-day basis. And we use the budget as a public transparency piece and a communication device. And so for anyone that's watching or in the audience today, there's a copy of the budget online. All you have to do is go to the finance department and you can get a copy of the proposed budget. There's also one at the window for our receptionists and in the city clerk's office. And so anyone that'd like to review the proposed expenditures that council will consider on June 15th can find those either online for their convenience, or they can actually come in and they can look at it in the paper copy. So here are the budget considerations. So included in the budget book, which I have this evening, and this is the book the council members received for the budget workshops, there is a city manager's executive summary. There are proposed revenue expenditures for each fund. Each department's proposed budget has been included. There are special funds, proposed expenditures and revenues, and then the fund balance. Council requested, with the passage of the street maintenance tax back in 2015, that every year there'll be a presentation of how bond sales will happen, overall utility program. And then the last thing we talked about was the manual fees, which actually outline the charges the city has for different levels of services or types of services within the organization. So when we build the budget, it's really around 4 specific keys, and that is estimating revenues and expenditures, and we always do that conservatively because sales tax is such an elastic type tax. It has a lot of volatility to it, especially with the economy. My number one responsibility, and I know it is council as well, is to ensure all of our funds balance. We include built-in contingencies for unexpected. Council members has a reserve policy that we implement every single year, and we're in compliance. I'm proud to say once again for having those funds necessary should there be something extraordinary that happens that are beyond our control. And also the council member, we spend a lot of time talking about long-term financial sustainability. So with regard to the budget, my recommendations to the council have been implementing council's number one goal, and that's providing great services to our community. And secondly is that as a fast-growing community is making sure that we maintain the infrastructure that is necessary to support the citizens that are here today, as well as those citizens that will be here tomorrow. And then finally is that we are, this year, one of the top 20 cities in America to live in, is making sure the things that we do day to day, the policies that we make, continue to make Broken Arrow one of the best places to live, work, and raise a family. So for this year's budget, I'd always like to start with sales tax. And what I have here, as the council members have seen, is a breakdown of the current sales tax that we have here in Broken Arrow. Now, Broken Arrow is located in 2 counties. The first county is Tulsa County, and the sales tax in Tulsa County is 8.417. In Widener County, it's 9.6. And you can see the differences of how our sales tax is broken down. I didn't include in the parentheses at the top, but Tulsa County's rate is 3.67. Wagner County's rate is 9.6, with the county specifically at 1.55. So there is a significant difference in the Tulsa County rate versus the Wagner County rate. But I think this is always important to show exactly how the 3.55 that we receive is broken down. For this year, for FY 2027, the budget is proposed for all funds is $487,039,418. The breakdown on the budget this year is for operational is just under $195 million. The capital outlay portion is almost $243 million. And finally, the debt service, which is made up of the general obligation bonds and the Oklahoma Water Resources Board debt we issued for projects, is right under $50 million for a total of $487. Now, that's broken down. It's interesting is that 40% of the budget is for operations, and the other 60% of the budget is for capital outlay. And that's broken down with 50% of that going towards capital improvements. That's road improvements, stormwater improvements, park and recreation, public safety, and the debt service. That makes up 10%. And so for us, because of our community and our priorities, I'm proud to say that only 40% of our budget is for operations. The rest is to maintain and to expand the infrastructure that we have within our community. Now, the general fund, that is essentially our largest fund. That is proposed at $158,527,205, and that includes the expenditures, the transfers out, and ending fund balance. As council members know, there are a certain amount of money that we receive that we transfer specifically the police and fire funds. We transfer funds to there as well as a few other funds. The overall increase this year for the general fund is just over 3%. So the total revenues for FY 2027 are right at $124 million. For FY 2027, revenue sources combined are 2.5% over last year's approved budget. And for this year, we've determined based on the sales tax projections, we're projecting about 1.5% increase in sales tax over the previous year. So as council member knows, we talked about these a little bit at the workshop, is that the budget challenges we continue to have is sales tax is trending flat. Inflation cost, the cost of goods and services, I mean, it's sometimes I think it's important to remind the public is that we're experiencing the same increases in cost for goods and services as we are as individuals in our individual homes. The cost of gas, the cost of utilities, the cost of day-to-day operations, all of those factor in to the fact that we have to be very prudent with the dollars that we have and look into the future, not just 1 year at a time. We also continue, it's not as bad as it was in 20 through probably 2022. We continue to have supply chain availability for operational needs. That's why normally we come to you with the purchase of vehicles. It's for a group of vehicles or multiple vehicles, and there's a lot of lead time, and so we're asking council to actually, in some cases, forward fund those purchases because they're cheaper now, even though we may not receive them for 18 months to 2 years. And once again, this is something I mention every year. It's been this way for the 20 years I've been in Oklahoma. Is there's just an overdependence on sales tax in our state. We're one of the last in the nation that depends upon sales tax to pay for primarily its day-to-day operations. Now, for folks that are watching that may choose to look at the budget, I'd like to put the slide up here. In Section 2 is the general fund operations. These are the specific pages. If anyone is interested in seeing exactly what the proposed budgets are for each of the general fund departments, it's in Section 2, starting with the city attorney on page 11 and finishing up with the Parks Department on page 36. Moving into our capital program, many years ago, the voters approved a 0.5% to be dedicated to capital improvements, sales tax capital improvement fund. That is 0.5 of the 3.55. We anticipate, finance does, it's going to generate about $10,700,000 this year. Also included in the revenue sources is the fact that we will be building a new municipal services building. And so we anticipated the loan that will be taken out more than likely by the end of the year, early next year, to start that process. And this is a small fund that is used for a lot of what we call pay-as-you-go capital. It could be some purchase of vehicles. It could be for small projects, other types of equipment that the directors need as a part of their day-to-day operations. So right now, the total STCI with rollovers is $49 million. And rollovers mean basically is that there are projects that take multiple years. So every year, the department directors working with finance get together and determine where they are on that project and what amount needs to be rolled over into the following year to make sure those funds are approved in the budget to be able to complete those projects. And there's a full listing in Section 4, pages 10 through 15, for the projects and the purchase that are proposed in the STCI this year. The street sales tax fund, we anticipate it's going to generate just over $5.5 million. This is the money that we utilize for street maintenance within our community. Now, we have two sources. We have street maintenance fund, and then we have the general obligation bonds. And there are years when we combine the bond money with the street money to do certain projects, especially when there's reconstruction that's needed on a road. But this is primarily used for the mill and overlay that we do within the neighborhoods. So we're proposing using just over $4 million of that fund. We've got $500,000 set aside for miscellaneous projects. These are projects, it could be something that's unexpected, like a problem with a bridge or a retaining wall along a street. But we always like to make sure we have some money in there for projects not anticipated. We're also doing alley work downtown. So as you can see, we're actually planning on recommending that we spend $4.7 million. Now, moving on to the Utility Authority, also known as BAMA. This year, the budget proposed is $187,714,873. Last year, it was $1,177,000,000, I should say. Overall, it's an increase of just under 6%, and this is due to the OWRB projects that they actually were asking council to consider. Council already approved those 2 meetings ago, so we could start the process because there's about $100,000 savings if we begin the application process versus waiting. But we will not move forward until such time as council has approved the budget. In Section 3 of the budget book, starting with page 10 through page 35, are all of the departments that are in BAMA for anyone that'd like to look at those. So the highlights for this year is that included in the proposed budget is about $5.8 million for pay-as-you-go capital. This is predominantly materials for our folks to do in-house projects. The water line, for example, that we did on South Main would be a perfect example of the materials that we would buy. We combine that with in-house labor to complete those projects. We do those throughout the community, but the actual expenditures that are being proposed are in the budget for anyone would look at that. Once again, for the OWRB, for the loan program for water and sewer projects, we're asking council to approve just under $27 million. You can see the total OWRB projects that we have right now. And these are the projects. I like to put those up. It's kind of hard to read, but essentially the council has approved projects totaling almost $27 million, essentially to do rehabilitation of certain water and sewer lines, and also to make certain improvements to our water and our water wastewater improvement plants. So as we just about wrap up here, as we talk about the general obligation bond funds, this is the last year of the 2018 bond sale. So right now the city has in 2011, 14, and 18 cycles almost $87 million worth of project. They're somewhere in that cycle. This will be the last year, so later this year we're going to ask the council to actually do the final sale. It was a 10-year sale. There were sold the bonds in 8 years, is just under $19 million, which will be the last one for 2018. So in conclusion, the proposed budget is $487 million. This represents the expenditures for operations and capital needs to meet the expectations of our community. And as I mentioned earlier, the proposed budget is available to the public if they would like to take a look at it and review it. And if they have questions, they can contact any member of the council or myself to answer those questions. And I'll be glad to take any questions from the council.
Will you touch real quick? I saw you had one more slide, I think, that touched on our upcoming bond package that's going to be, and with the legislation this year, they changed the property tax percentages.
Yeah, absolutely, Mayor. So when we approved submitted to the voters, and the voters approved 7 out of 8 propositions back in April that were related to property taxes, the schedule that we first built, when I say we, it was Kenny Schwab, the assistant manager, Charlie Bright and his team, and myself put together the 10-year cell. Council hasn't approved that yet. They're going to do that this summer. What has happened with the legislation that the legislator has passed, the governor signed, with respect to the Homestead Act, is actually going to, with the reductions in the percentages, that's going to reduce some available assessed value in the funding that goes with it. And so we're anticipating that instead of being able to sell the bonds over a 10-year period, it's actually going to be approximately 14 years. And so we're going to have to go back in and look at those projects. And once I have that exact number of years we have to look at in the updated schedule, the council's going to look at that in July, either July or August, and then we're going to let the public know what that is. But it's actually going to take us several years longer to sell because we have less assessed value available as a result of that change at the state level. So what does that mean? It means it's going to take longer to complete some projects, and that's why priorities become very important. Now, if we continue to see the increase in the assessed value of the city, as we did during the 2018 bond package, then maybe that may be reduced by a couple of years. But we're going to go ahead and plan it out knowing that the only probably first 2 or 3 years are the most important, because that's what we're focused on right now. And then as we start to see where the assessed value is, council always has the ability, based on the priorities of the community, to slide projects back and forth, just knowing that there's very few projects in there that you're actually going to award the funding and you're going to be purchasing or completing that project. It just takes a lot of time, 5 years to complete a road, 2 years or so to build a fire station, buy fire trucks. And so that's why it's a very complicated process, and now we've got to go back in and redo it. And we certainly understand and support the decision that was made by the legislature, and I know the council does too, but that's just going to take us a little bit longer to sell some of the projects, those 91 projects or initiatives that the voters approved on April 7th.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any questions or discussion?
I just have one comment to this budget can really get to be a tough issue. That's one of the primary things that you do as a city councilman, is to go over the budget, help decide on the budget, and help direct the budget. But I'll have to say, this city manager, in the 40-some years that I've been involved with the city government, has been able to define what's in our budget more than anybody that I've ever had we've had in the city of Broken Arrow. Because when we first get that book and go through it, it's the first thing before we have our meeting, we know exactly where everything's at, where the money's going, what department it's going to. So the city manager does an excellent job of prolonging that and making it where it's easy for us to understand. So I'd like to thank him for doing that and making that for us.
The three of us don't know any different because we've always been with you, but you know the difference.
I know
between
the
city
difference.
managers.
When you
doing
stay
the
up all
budget,
night
so.
trying to find something, then you remember that.
Yes.
So
Thank you,
it was a
sir.
good job.
Credit, Cindy deserves a credit.
Yeah,
Her
Cindy
team,
does a good job.
Stu and Tom Cook, they do an amazing job. They make it very easy for Kenny, Norman, myself to have to make policy decisions that we recommended to you. And the directors, they all want more than there is, and they make it very difficult for me, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing, because that's what you want, is them out there presenting budgets that they would like to have, knowing that they're going to prioritize. But it's not just one person, it's the entire, I appreciate that, Vice Mayor, but really everybody understands what council expects, and that's a budget that's going to maintain a great quality of life, and that's our goal.
Thank you. All right. Let's see. Item 8 is citizens' opportunity to address council. There are none. 9A. Oh, we do need a call for a public hearing. Okay. So I will, Trevor, I just opened.
Just call a public
Yep.
hearing to order, and then you can call for 3 times if there's
Okay.
anybody who wants to comment.
So I'll entertain a motion to call the public hearing to order.
So moved?
Second?
Roll call?
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Is there anyone here that would wish to speak on this budget? Is there anyone here that would wish to speak on this item, on this budget? Third time. Is there anyone here that would wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So move.
Second?
Roll call?
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. All right, item 9A is consideration, discussion, and possible approval of acceptance of 2 donated America 250 benches from the Daughters of the American Revolution, Broken Arrow Creek chapter for the city of Broken Arrow in the Veterans Park. Senator Gillespie. That's so fun to say.
Good evening, council, mayor, vice mayor, city council, and Mr. Spurgeon. Gosh, y'all had me come on the night where I want to ask so many questions. So it's hard. And Councilor Ford, your representative and your senator, they owe you a citation. So,
Thank you.
So congratulations. All right. The Broken Arrow Creek chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution has donated 2 America 250 6-foot black powder-coated metal benches for Veterans Park. And if approved by council, 2 existing benches at Veterans Park will be relocated to the Senior Center Annex, and because they've requested a couple of extra benches. So I do have pictures. I am actually a member of the Broken Arrow Creek chapter. I'm a daughter of the American Revolution, and these are the benches.
That them right there?
Sorry. Y'all are so organized. And I did want to tell you a little bit about, if you're not familiar with the Daughters of the American Revolution, so what you do is you go through a whole process of figuring out your ancestry, and I'll tell you a little bit about my patriot. My patriot is David Alley. He was born in April of 1762. He entered the Revolutionary War at the age of 13, volunteering for 6 months service. He signed up 3 more times, making his service on the Virginia frontier more than 2 years. And he was my 6 times great grandpa. Okay. And I just think it's important that we continue to honor these patriots, and this is a great way to do that. Yeah. And I appreciate your consideration.
This is fantastic.
Just
Thank
for
you.
clarification, ours won't say Enid chapter,
Right.
correct?
It will not.
It will say
Okay.
Broken Arrow.
It will say
Okay.
Broken Arrow Creek chapter.
Okay,
Yeah.
much better.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate you.
I certainly, we as a council certainly back our veterans to help. We're excited about the veterans area that we have and the bond issue where the museum, the Veterans Museum, will be moved down that same area. But we also want to teach our youth, and so that's why we're trying to build this up to where they understand that our country didn't just happen, that it was built
That's right.
by a lot of people, a lot of sacrifices. I know the military that I was in, the United States Army. I was stationed in an honor guard company at Fort Myer, Virginia, the United States Army casket bearer. And I mean, for 2 years, those guys really spent their life dedicated to thanking those and honoring those that had over 300 funerals myself in Arlington. We also, the council, supports our youth city council. Once a year, when they get to be seniors, we take our youth city council to Washington, D.C., and one of their requirements is they have to spend a half a day with me at Arlington Cemetery. So we're trying to push this and present it to our youth so they know that, remember the importance of what has been sacrificed for us. So I'm really appreciative of anything that we can do to help that. And thank you, Senator. I know that you've really been behind veterans ever since I've known you, so we appreciate it.
Absolutely. I come from a family that have served. Pretty much every man that I descended from served in some way. And I know Counselor Ford is also a member. She is also a daughter of the American Revolution in a different chapter, but we're sisters in the Revolution. But it's such an honor when, in our city, because you all know, we go through our state and even other places outside of Oklahoma, and we see other cities that just aren't Broken Arrow. And, it's like, we always say, we want to stop people from moving here, but we're awesome. So everyone wants to move here, so we can't. But it is true. And we're the heart of Senate District 33 right here. And so I'm proud to also represent my Senate district to put these benches as well.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Well, I just want to thank your chapter too for picking us as to be your America 250 project, because I know that's probably been a long time in the making too, and we'll be. I think we'll be glad to support this and put these in our Veterans Park for our veterans to be able to sit in them for sure. So I would like to make the motion to accept the benches to be put in our Veterans Park.
I'll second that motion.
All right, roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Item B is consideration, discussion, and possible approval of recognizing the Patriot Guard Riders with a monument in Veterans Park. Counselor Ford.
Okay. So some of this you've already heard about, not a lot of this, but a few years ago, this was brought, Lori actually worked with Dan a little bit, and then there was a little pause put on it, and so we're going to bring this back to the council to see if we can maybe get a monument put in Veterans Park. So this is the purpose of this. I'm going to just read a little bit on it, then I'm going to have Dan come and talk just for a few minutes about it, and I don't know if anyone signed up to speak on their behalf, but Dan will probably be able to answer any questions when they have. The Patriot Guard Riders was founded on November 8th, 2005 in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma by Jeff and Bonnie Brown with the intention of shielding grieving families from protesters who were determined to disrupt the funerals of their fallen military heroes. This was done in a nonviolent manner by PGR members standing tall and silent, shoulder to shoulder, holding American flags, blocking the families from having to see the I'm getting chills right now. Having to see the protesters, effectively blocking out the protesters. All that family and friends would see were patriots holding American flags and silently, respectfully mourning the passing of their American hero. As detailed in Jeff's History of the Patriot Guard Riders, and I have an attachment under here, I think it was all in your packet too. The concept grew overnight into a national movement of volunteers. The only requirement for joining the Patriot Guard Riders was, and still is, respect. As protests grew across the nation, it is felt that the impact of Patriot Guard Riders and their stoic, nonviolent stance of patriotism influenced several state legislators. Oklahoma is believed to be one of the first states to begin drafting and passing legislations barring such protests for fallen heroes. In acknowledgement of the impact of the Patriot Guard Riders, President George W. Bush invited Jeff and Bonnie, along with a handful of PGR members, to the Oval Office to attend the signing ceremony of the Respect for Americans Fallen Heroes Act, which basically prohibited such protesting at funerals in national cemeteries. The solution to the protest challenges that created the PGR would soon shift PGR's mission as well. Without the presence of protesters, many families and funeral directors now realized firsthand the heartfelt PGR missions and continually requested us to attend them. I'm reading this, not us, them, to attend services, not to shield from protesters, but to show honor and respect for their fallen hero. Though never to prerequisite, the vast majority of our initial membership was comprised of Vietnam-era veterans, many whom rode motorcycles and whom personal experience with protesters who could not distinguish the war from the warrior. Their silent vow of never again was answered by the participation of the Patriot Guard Riders. During the COVID years, PGR did drive-bys to veterans hospitals and numerous assisted living facilities where we wished happy birthday to some wonderful heroes who needed a break from forced isolation. We have been contacted by local hospice organizations asking to visit with veterans. We worked with Oklahoma Warriors, Honor Flight escorting back and forth to the airport for their trip twice a year. We were even called upon to help escort the fallen soldiers' silhouettes currently standing in Broken Arrow's Veterans Park. On a designated day every month, the PGRs attends the no one attending ceremony at various national cemeteries. It's a special service conducted for veterans who were buried the previous month, but their families were not able to present on that day, were not available to be present on that day. For a brief time, we are their family. Our initial goals of honoring the fallen and shielding their families was expanded into areas never initially conceived, and yet the PGR recognized the need, accepting the challenge, and stood tall. To have such a dynamic and visionary organization based solely on volunteers serving so many diverse missions, having its birthplace in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, deserves recognition at Veterans Park. There are literally millions of hearts that have been touched by this organization on both sides of the flag line, and the legacy of this organization should be recognized for its outstanding accomplishments. So I was going to ask Dan if he would come up and talk to us for just a few minutes and maybe add a little bit more if we can get out of our chairs. I told him our next city council would hopefully have a little bit bigger chairs and a little taller chairs. It'd be easier for him to get out of.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. My first time up here as well, so excuse me if I'm not doing it correctly, but I'll power through it. If I may first, we secured some letters from some local funeral directors around the state and some of the families that were touched by us that I'd like to give. We've got several copies of those, if I could just hand those off. Thank you. I don't know what else to say. You summed it up very well, but we were born here in Broken Arrow, thanks to Jeff and Bonnie, and we just feel like it's would be a great honor to have a plaque in the Veterans Park acknowledging that. A lot of service organizations these days, including us, we're getting aged out. I think American Legion and everybody else is fighting the same challenge. We just would like to have something put in there before the numbers dwindle to a point where we're not remembered. And I don't know what else to say. If you've got any.
Well, let me go ahead and add. So they'll purchase it. There will be no expense to the city. I think we refer to it as a monument, but I would probably say more of like it would be more like a pedestal, but like a stone type pedestal. Of course, we'll get it approved. You know, we'll work with the Parks Department or whatever to make sure it works with the Veteran Center. It'll come back to the council for final approval, obviously.
Yes.
I mean, but before they spend money, they wanted to make sure it lined with, what we're looking at. And then a plaque on the top recognizing the Browns and their contribution to this organization. Wonderful. And so that's kind of, just sum it up. Did I leave anything out, you think?
No, our preliminary meetings with Lori Hill, like you said a couple years ago, she indicated a 2-foot by 3-foot type pedestal would be suitable for that. We certainly want to work with you. This is something that we'd like, placement or how it's made is certainly, we'll work with the city on that. Sure. And like you said, we're willing to put the funds up to not only build it, but to have it installed as well.
So I think what we're asking is just the approval to move to the next step from the council is what the purpose is at this point.
All right.
So would the next step, be the design and presentation for final approval, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, if I can say, what we'll do is that the Parks Department will work with the representatives from the organization on where they would like for it to go, the design. And then as you mentioned, Counselor, several years ago, the council, passed a motion that no additional improvements can be made to the park without council approval. So the next step is to authorize working together and partnering on this. And from my perspective, I just want to say from the administration is we've talked about veterans tourism and being one of the leading cities in America of creating veteran tourism, especially as we start to look in the future to transition the Military History Center down there. And so there's an item later in the agenda that council will consider that. And so this fits right into basically honoring those that have served and making sure that they are recognized. And so I think this is an incredible opportunity, and we'll work, Matt Hendren will work together with Charlie's team if necessary and bring it back to council when we're ready.
And I think, Ben, that you guys started your organization here in Broken Arrow, that's just another step, not only for the veterans, but for the city of Broken Arrow. So I'd certainly be really excited for it.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
And Dan, you mentioned you ever having, like your organization ever going away. I hope that never happens. I hope generations to come follow in your footsteps and continue, because I've attended far too many veteran funerals where you guys arrive and stand guard, and I was there when you brought in the Mission 22, those 20 soldiers there. So I hope it never goes away.
That's our goal as well.
Yeah.
We're using this as a way to put our name a little bit more forward as well.
Absolutely.
So we would appreciate your help in that.
Yes, absolutely. Entertain a
So,
motion.
I was going to say, do we need a motion or just direction?
I would say this time, just direction to work with the organization to come up with a recommendation and bring it back to the governing body for consideration and approval.
So be it.
Second it.
If that happens, then obviously we would have a dedication, we'd schedule a dedication, appropriate time and so forth.
Okay.
Awesome.
Roll call.
No, just direction, right?
Yeah, we can direct him to do it.
Yeah, we can direct them to do it.
So we need a motion or we don't need a motion?
If you want to formalize it, you can. Otherwise, I think they have direction where they want to go.
I think, I'd like to see it
I'd like to-
formalized.
I would too.
Okay, so I have,
Okay.
Counselor Green is making the motion.
Yes,
Counselor
I'll make
Parks
a motion
second.
that we work with them to proceed to the next step.
And I second it.
Okay. Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes?
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
Looks like Councilor Ford has left the diocese.
Yes, yes. I think she was giving challenge coins. All right, item C, consideration, discussion, and
Wait a second, Mayor.
Oh, yes, sir. No, yeah.
I'm very remiss to not thank Fred Perry for putting this all together.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. That was number one on my notes, but I forgot it. My apologies. And thank you, Lisa, for your support as well,
Yeah, of
and
course.
everybody else. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right. Item C is consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the installation of the 25-year time capsule to be located in Veterans Park. Ryan Bays.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor. Thank you for your 25 years. Councilor Ford, thank you so much. Councilor Green, City Manager, Mr. Spurgeon. Ryan Bays, your Director of Maintenance Service. And it's such a privilege to be here tonight. I'm very thankful to our City Manager who invited me to be part of a team that gets to help develop the celebration in Broken Arrow for 250 years. And I do want to start off by saying I'm just a small piece of that, but I got this little piece here and I'm extremely excited about it. So I'd like to talk quickly about it. I know time's kind of going quickly tonight, but as we celebrate 250 years on June 30th, the City Manager is like, let's have a time capsule. And I'm like, hooray! I love it. Something that preserves today, what we're doing. And in 25 years, when America hits 275, we'll dig it up. We'll get to see what's in there. I hope that I'm celebrating over 25 years of service for Broken Arrow and that I'm still here on part of the team to see that day. And so I think it's something exciting for us to do as a city, to come together and preserve those memories from today. I don't want to give everything away on what the plan is, but I can tell you that behind the scenes, Aaron's been working hard, Lori's been working hard, City Manager's been in there. The ideas have really been flowing, and I think what's going to go is just going to be pretty amazing. So next slide here. I want to show you a few of it. The time capsule, we're going to call it the time capsule. I didn't want you to see the decorated version, so what you get today is just kind of the briefing of it, but it's large. We, just a few ideas, probably a City of Broken Arrow flag will be placed in it. Each director will have something that goes into it throughout the city manager, your two assistant city managers, and of course there's a request for our city council to have items to go into this. The reason we have it on here today too is because we'd like to place this at Veterans Park. And so in that request, we're asking your permission to place that there. The only thing that'll be above ground is a small placard in the ground marking the location. We've worked with Matt Hendren and his teams. Phil Hink's been out on site trying to find that perfect spot for it, someplace that for the next 25 years it'll be kind of incorporated in the park, but not in the way of any future plans. And that also brought in Charlie Bright and his team to kind of go over that the master plan of it. So a lot of hands were involved from the city to make sure this was well thought out and organized. And so our request is that you'd allow us that to place it in Veterans Park for at least 25 years.
Temporarily, 25 years.
And so if a piece of that, I think something that's a little extra special is the city manager has something to share with you this evening for the council.
So these are the cylinders that actually we're going to be putting items in, and this is the one for the council that it says City Council members Deborah Wimpy, Vice Mayor Johnny Parks, Councilors Lisa Ford, Justin Green, and David Pickle. So this is actually yours that you could put items in there for future elected officials, city leaders to actually look at 25 years later. And so there's going to be a number of these are going to be placed in there for all the directors, as Ryan said, and I wanted to pass this around. This will actually be sealed. Then the screws are not there, but pass around so council can see.
Won't be like that big.
Yeah, as soon as you return it to us, we'll make sure it gets sealed up and placed in the capsule as we have that decorated and ready to go. And I know Aaron's already been working hard on those graphics for us on that.
Very cool.
And then the last slide here is where we're proposing that it would be located in Veterans Park. And so I don't know if you've had the opportunity to look over it, but as you walk in and you go around the fountain in the center and you're going up to the very back of it, it'd be kind of located right there where that red box is, so on the south side.
Okay.
Right in that green space. And we did work with Matt's team to make sure we were avoiding sprinkler lines and electrical and everything for the fountain and some drain lines. There's actually a lot going on there. It's an impressive place, and we wanted to make sure this wasn't disruptive to what was already going on, but would be something that would add to it. And so even the placard that's going to be just ground level where they could mow over it, we're going to make sure we match everything else that's out there.
Wonderful.
So I'd be happy to entertain any questions. I am super excited about this project and just thank the city manager again for the opportunity to join in on it.
We couldn't tell that you were excited.
I know.
I love it.
You know me, I'm a project guy.
You always
happy.
get so excited with every
Yes.
project. Yes.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll have a parade when we open it.
I love parades too.
Thank you, Ryan. Item D, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of a film incentive and hotel rebate of $50,268.14. Michaela Barton.
Do we need a motion for approval on the previous one?
For the time council.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
we're just
moved.
moving right
Second.
along. Sorry. Roll
We have
call.
a second. Councilor Ford? Green?
Yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Parks?
Yes.
Wimpy?
Thank you, guys.
Wimpy.
Yes. Michaela.
Good evening. I'm
Good
Michaela
evening.
Barton, the tourism manager. So, as you may recall, last year at about this time, council approved a $100,000 film rebate pilot program. Little did we know the impact that this simple program would make on our city and our little tourism department. Throughout the year, the attention that Broken Arrow has been receiving throughout the film industry has been positively unexpected. We've answered dozens of calls, answered questions as to how and why we're doing what we're doing, and have had overwhelmingly positive feedback about Broken Arrow as an emerging location, as a community that is truly friendly to film. It's rare. I didn't know how rare it was, but we're excited that we've been able to move some priorities and funding around within our department and budget to be able to continue this important incentive, hopefully with budget approval from you all next month. As a reminder, the purpose of the incentive is to create a ripple effect and economic impact. The incentive includes rebates for local spending, hiring Broken Arrow citizens as crew members and cast, and also for staying in our hotels. At the May 12th VBA meeting, the VBA board approved the rebate request for our most recent film to recently wrap Live Like That. Very, very unfortunately, this film was not physically filmed in Broken Arrow. However, the project chose to stay in Broken Arrow hotels, and they stayed a record of 665 nights at our hotels, which is huge. And they hired a large number of Broken Arrow citizens to work on the film and spent over $204,000 in labor for our local citizens. And they also spent $22,000 in other necessities here in town that they may or may not have otherwise spent. So the estimated economic impact overall of this project is between $429,000 and $572,000. Cassidy Lunan with Red Clay Studios is here today to share a little bit more about her experience in Broken Arrow and their project, and either her or I will answer any other questions that you guys might have.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for having me. Okay, so a little bit about Live Like That. We are so grateful. This whole film industry was, I currently, just so everybody knows who I am, my name's Cassidy Lunan. I am the owner of a film studio here in town called Red Clay Studios. I moved here 5 years ago from Los Angeles and have been working towards everything film industry in general. It's just one of the things that I see as an impact to grow different industries in the state of Oklahoma. I chair a nonprofit called Oklahoma Motion Picture Alliance. We grew from when I got here 5 years ago, which we started 4 years ago. We went from me and 4 other people to now over 600 members, so it's really exciting. The film industry is growing, and we can't thank enough all of these film-friendly cities that have kind of raised their hand and been interested, especially Broken Arrow. I just want to shout out and let you know that you did it before Tulsa. You did it, exactly. And so it makes filming in Oklahoma, there's all these different opportunities to be around the state. You have the state, you can come in for the state's incentives, but what really attracts us to kind of move around in the state is these incentives. So they're wonderful, and I really appreciated all of the work that Michaela and her team did to both attract us here and have us, and I'm so grateful. So as Michaela was saying, just a little bit about Live Like That, and I wish I could share photos, but it's being released it's February 26th, 2027, so just as an FYI. Live Like That is a faith-based project, a true story about a youth pastor who was murdered in Pomona, California by gang members, and his family then goes on to carry out his a project that he had in the works to unite the Pomona gang members together. And it was one of the largest unity walks in that city, creating the lowest crime rate in 10, 15 years. So it was one of these beautiful true stories. Sony Affirm, who did War Room, is the studio that's behind this project. So it's not just a film that's going to go to streamers. It's a film with Broken Arrow logo on a theatrical release worldwide picture. So that's really exciting, and I think hopefully, as our appreciation to you guys as well for being so accommodating to us. As Michaela said, we were sad that we couldn't find a location that worked here, but alas, I will be back. I have another application, hopefully, if you guys keep this program open, coming this next year, which is going to be super fun. But yeah, so the film starred Esai. I have to. Wow, you get older and you need glasses. Okay, so Esai Morales was our, if anyone knows him, he was the bad guy in Mission Impossible. Rosalind Sanchez, Cameron Arnett in The Forge, and then there's several others. Again, February 26th. So again, this isn't a small regional film. This is a major studio picture. So February 26th, and I would say that if anyone in the room has any connections to community organizations or faith groups or local leaders who want to be involved in the awareness of the project, please contact me. Because we love to get that out. We love to show it in churches as well, and because that's just a great part of the community, and we're just so grateful, and thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Questions?
Questions?
Isn't this so exciting?
It is very exciting.
It's very exciting. I actually knew that Broken Arrow could make this a big deal. I mean, honestly, I went to 2 workshops at Oklahoma Municipal League, and I'm like, we're certified. Why are we doing more? And then Michaela, we had the right people in place for sure. I mean, and it wasn't a horror film. I was so excited.
Yeah,
it wasn't a horror film. I was like, oh, yay.
You ran the gamut. 1 horror, 1 faith.
Yes, that's right. We're nice and balanced. Yeah, and I mean, and I was a little sad that it wasn't filmed in Broken Arrow, but over 600 hotel stays. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Big. So, yeah, it's a lot of receipts.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's no action to be taken on that. Correct?
It says
It says
possible
possible
approval.
approval.
Yes,
Oh
it-
my gosh, I'm like so off
Mhm,
tonight.
total rebates.
Any discussion or questions?
I make a motion that we approve the request.
Second?
Roll call?
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes?
Wimpy.
Yes. All right. Item E, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the reappointment of Mindy Payne to the City of Broken Arrow Planning Commission for a 3-year term expiring May 1st, 2029.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of council, City Manager, Mr. Spurgeon. I'm Community Development Director Rocky Hinkle. Planning Commission members are appointed to serve 3-year terms. Mindy Payne was originally appointed by City Council on May 2nd, 2023, and her current 3-year term expired on May 5th, 2026. Mindy Payne has been recommended to continue serving on the Planning Commission and by Councilor Justin Green, and Mindy Payne has expressed her willingness to serve a 3-year term that expires May 1st, 2029. Staff recommends you approve the reappointment of Mindy Payne to serve another 3-year term on the Planning Commission to expire May 1st, 2029.
Any discussion?
I think Mindy does a great job.
You too.
So,
That's what I was going to say. I've talked with other planning commission members, city staff, that has the opportunity to work with Mindy and the team, and everyone speaks highly of her and the work that she does. That's why it was my honor to recommend her for reappointment.
I'll make the motion to reappoint Counselor Green's reappointment.
second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call?
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
Johnny, or Vice Mayor?
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
Now, Mayor, I got to say something. If I don't put in a plug and tell you how great I think Mindy is, she won't invite me back to speak to her basically her class at the at Rosewood.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let me just add, on behalf of the administration, thank you very much. She's amazing.
Yes. She's done a great job. Item F is consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the Citizens Engagement Academy program. Curtis Green.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, Mr. Spurgeon. Really excited to bring this to you tonight. Maybe not as excited as Ryan Bays, but hey, I'm getting there with the enthusiasm.
I feel like it.
So the Citizens Engagement Academy was developed at the direction of City Council based on an idea brought forth by Councilor Ford. The idea being to improve civic literacy, promote transparency, and encourage greater resident involvement in local government. So the program is designed to help residents better understand how city government operates, foster informed participation, support future service on boards and committees, and strengthen relationships between the community, city staff, and elected officials. So staff is requesting this evening that City Council approve the implementation of the Academy as a 2-part educational series. It'll be a 6-week program in the fall, 6-week program in the spring. The fall program will be more surface level in terms of it's just an introduction to city government, learning about the overall structure of municipal governments with the city manager form of government that we have here. Excuse me, learning more about city services, and then while Program B would be more in-depth, it would be a 6-week exploration in the spring of more departmental functions, operational decision-making, and just a deeper dive into municipal government. So with that, the programs both combined will create a pathway for the residents to become more informed, engaged, and involved in our community. And I think it's a great idea. It's been a pleasure working with the staff to put this together, and I'll entertain any questions you have.
Any questions?
I have a question, just a comment. I think it's a great opportunity for our citizens, because we often get questions about why does this work like that, or why come you can't do this, or so on and so forth. And this will provide an opportunity for citizens who would like to be engaged to engage and to educate themselves on how city government works, and then in turn be able to explain that to our constituents, our neighbors and friends. So it's a great opportunity for those who would like to be involved.
Absolutely.
I'm excited too, and I want to thank you, Curtis, because I know you had a lot of work into it. I know you had some help, but I know that a lot of it fell on your lap, and I think it'll be really successful, and I feel like it'll be a lot like the Citizens Police Academy, but just on the civic level. And then with the master's class being in the fall, the second 6-week class. So I'm real excited.
Are we calling it the master's class?
Oh, we should. Maybe we should. The master's civic class. Do you have anything, Johnny, to say?
No, I think it's a great idea. I've
Okay.
been through seen several different organizations come through, people come through.
Yeah.
It goes back even to our youth city council. So, to step up from there. So I say that we're just training people to take our place.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Citizens Engagement Academy program.
I'll second said motion.
All right. Roll call?
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item G is consideration, discussion, and possible approval of and authorization to execute PSO franchise fee for economic development requests for infrastructure funds to extend a public sanitary sewer line to Bama-owned property to support future economic development. Travis.
Good evening, Mayor Wimpy, Vice Mayor Parks, Councilor Ford, Councilor Green, City Manager Spurgeon. Great to be before you tonight. Trevor and Curtis. Travis Stevens, Director of Economic Development for the City of Broken Arrow. So tonight we get to discuss a first, which is the potential utilization of the PSO Economic Development Funds for the purpose of an infrastructure project. And I like to think that I know a great deal about economic development. I know very little about sewer lines, so I am actually going to hand off to my colleague, Charlie Bright, and he's going to give you the finer details of this project. So, Charlie?
Thank you again. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, Mr. Spurgeon. Name's Charlie Bright, Director of Engineering Construction. Appreciate Travis passing this off to me. Normally, this would be a TED team if you have an outside entity making an application, and you might have that applicant coming up here telling you about their business or anything else. In this situation, City of Broken Arrow, or BAMA, is the applicant for this project. So I'm here representing the applicant part of it and not the acceptor part of it, I guess I should say. But anyway, just a little bit of background on this project and why we're applying for the funds. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this fund is intended to create economic development for the City of Broken Arrow. And one of the purposes that the fund could be used for is infrastructure to encourage that economic development. So just to give a little bit of history, going back on my own. So yeah, I believe it was June 5th, 2017, the governing body approved the acquisition of the property that we are talking about. On July 3rd of 2017, the governing body approved Resolution 1031 that was authorizing the execution of a contract for the sale of the property or purchase of the property for $700,000. In October of 2024, the intent when we bought the property in 2017 was always for an elevated storage tank, but we knew, and the reason that is because of the height of the property there. We want to be in the highest parts that we can be. So that property was ideal for an elevated storage tank, but we knew there was more property there than what we needed for that storage tank. October of 2024, BAMA awarded construction of a new 2.5 million gallon elevated storage tank to Landmark Structures for $10.7 million. After that time, we knew that the comp plan, everything else had commercial plans for this intersection. So once we knew we had the design for the water storage tank in place, and we're moving on with construction, getting ready for construction, we started planning for what's next with the rest of that property because we did not need the rest of the property for the intent of the elevated storage tank. And so in July of this year, the council approved a comprehensive plan change to change the site to level 4, and then they subsequently approved a rezone to commercial general, and then we passed a PUD for the site that was approved in November of last year. All that just to give you a background of this property and then the intent that this property is eventually developed into commercial general. And so one of the big hindrances to this property being developed is the fact, and really the whole corridor right there, is the fact that we don't have sanitary sewer to the site. So what this application is for the PSO funds and the economic development funds to pay for the materials for the city of Broken Arrow to come and provide sanitary sewer to our property here on the northeast corner of the intersection. The benefit for economic development, one, is commercial growth on our property, but more importantly, the way that the sanitary sewer is designed, it then provides access to all four quadrants of that intersection for commercial growth in the future. Which is the big hindrance for why any of those quadrants have not developed to date, is the lack of sanitary sewer availability. So with this application, we will be able to get sanitary sewer to our site. It'll open up sanitary sewer to all quadrants of that intersection, which I think the timing is really important because a mile away we have the amphitheater opening up. We do anticipate a lot of commercial growth in this area, so that just helps us get there. Happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Any questions?
I can say I know the owners of some of those properties, certainly that one on the southeast corner, and that was the big holdup on being able to sell or develop that. And you're exactly right, Charlie, is that will really change that whole intersection area right there.
Yeah. I haven't talked to any of them, but I imagine you'll see development really quickly once you see us put sanitary sewer.
Because you have water there, correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. We have a water tower.
There's a big
We got a
water
big
tower.
tower. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
we got a big tower.
Got a lot of water.
2.5 million gallons of it, to be exact.
But you have the main line coming across the street, though.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed we don't have a picture with the water tower in it up there
Yeah.
for display, but you know.
I don't think
A
Google
level-
hasn't
a
updated it
level
for us
water
yet.
tower.
We'll get it there.
Yeah.
Water tower.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
So I'll make a motion for approval for item 26-812 if we have no further questions.
Second?
Oh, my goodness.
2 seconds.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 10 is preview ordinances. 10A, consideration, discussion, and possible preview of an ordinance amending Chapter 7, Business Relations and Licenses of the City of Broken Arrow Code of Ordinances. Trevor.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, Mr. Spurgeon. The preview ordinance that's before you for consideration is basically an amendment and an update for our solicitation ordinance. The main change that we add to this is adding a no-knock list, which is basically a voluntary list that citizens can enroll in. Very similar, if you can remember, from maybe 20 years ago when they did the no-call list. But if a citizen wanted to sign up, again, it's voluntary. They could say, we do not want door-to-door, face-to-face solicitors to come to my house. It's a efficient, straightforward way for citizens to be able to advise the peddlers and the community that they're not interested in having commercial solicitation. And so in that way, it's very similar to a no trespass sign that the homeowner might have at their home. This just is another layer, another mechanism, another way to accomplish that. And so the main thing is, first thing that we do is we do clarify who is a peddler and who's a canvasser, because that's important. So if you're doing political type canvassing, so electioneering, taking polls, that's going to be considered canvassing. Those aren't going to be peddlers. We're talking about commercial sales. The second thing that we did is currently our peddler's license only licenses the sale of goods. This also expands it to both goods and services. So we'll be covering more of the solicitors. The requirement is that when a peddler obtains their current no-knock list, that they receive their license, and the peddlers are expected to respect that. And so if they violate the no-knock list, we have fines up to $500, license suspension or revocation, and also license reinstatement fees. And as I stated, there are for youth sports or scouts and charitable organizations. Solicitation at their homes, and it provides clear rules and accountability for those who engage in door-to-door sales. At this point, I wanted to invite Mr. Aaron McCullough to come. We did a survey before we started working on this ordinance to see what the temperature was in the community, what the issues were. Were people having problems with solicitors, and could we address what some of those concerns were? So I wanted to turn it over to Aaron, and he can talk about the results of that survey, which I really do feel gives us a really good legislative finding supporting the need for this type of legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Councilors Green and Ford. Actually, Green and Ford. Mr. Spurgeon, Aaron McCullough, Communications Team here for the City of Broken Arrow. I had the pleasure of working with Mr. Dennis and his team and Mr. Hinkle of Community Development to put together this survey. I'll go quickly, just give you some highlights. It was 14 questions, excuse me, went for that 3-week period that we typically do all of our surveys. We had a response of 2,898 respondents to it, which was really good. Of course, it was also one of those surveys that there's a lot of interest in when you talk about peddlers and solicitation and that sort of thing. 93% of those said that they own their own home. 90% of those said that they have a solicitor at their home at least once a month. 53% of them said that the no trespassing signs were either not effective or not very effective, which this speaks to Mr. Dennis's point about how the no-knock list could strengthen what we have as far as our ordinance is concerned. Let's see, 95%, said that they would support a no-knock list registry. 93% said that they would be willing to submit their address every year to be part of that voluntary program. As far as the reasons why they would want to be part of a no-knock list registry, 35% said it was to protect privacy, 31% said it was to avoid potential crime, and another 31% said to avoid potential fraud. So once again, I mean, these responses really indicate a strong support for this strengthening of the ordinance. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So will you be able to get the information out or create awareness like through the HOAs? Like, will we be contacting the HOAs and letting them know this is something that their citizens or their residents can sign up for?
That is one of the means that we'll be able to do it. Actually, Mr. Hinkle has an opportunity with EnterGov as well. So whenever folks actually, they'll be able to go into the Citizen Self-Service portal. They'll be able to register there, and then they'll be able to get an email that just automatically renews every year.
Okay, and then what about, so like the businesses, if will they just go on, how will we, I guess we'll make public statements about it, but businesses would just go online maybe and see what neighborhoods, or how will they know if it's a no-knock home?
That's a great question, and the implementation, we have looked at that, of what makes the most sense. So first thing I would say is we do need to manage the expectations of there's going to be an on-ramp onboarding process when we would have an opening, almost like a, like when you sign up for health benefits or, with your employer, it's just this is the open enrollment period.
Yeah.
And so people would be able to do that, and that would give us time for staff to create the document, which would be the no-knock list.
Okay.
And I would anticipate that would be put on the website. We could also have paper copies that would be available to solicitors when they come and sign up and get their licenses. I would anticipate that, though, once we get it up and running, we could have something that folks could sign up if they move to the community, they want to participate in the no-knock list. They could sign up, and then I would anticipate we'd have something like weekly. It would be refreshed, and then we would start enforcing it as of a certain date of that week. Meaning there would have to be some time, between when a person signs up and then give enough time that we could notify the solicitors, this is a new address that's on there. But our expectation is that the solicitors need to check our website and keep up to date, because that's what our citizens will expect. But there would be,
There's
like
going
I
to be
said,
a growing pain in that process because they won't know. Like, you can't contact every business in town and tell them that there's now a new no-knock.
Yes,
But it would be good for real estate agents to put that information out to their new homeowners and such as well. So I think it's great. It's just getting the businesses to know, because there will be that where they're still going to knock, and that's when they're going to learn.
If I may, just for clarification, I heard the mayor say HOAs and no-knock neighborhoods, but every neighborhood doesn't have an HOA. Is it going to be a neighborhood thing or an individual home thing?
It's an individual homeowner.
Okay.
So it's actually, it would be more of the HOAs would be a means of getting the word out.
Yeah, that's what
But the list itself, just to clarify, will be for any individual homeowner who wants to sign up, and they would list their address. They would also have the ability to delist themselves from the registry if they wanted to change their mind, and we would keep that up to date. So it is an individual house by house. It's not a corporate or HOA or neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah. And I think I was meaning just a way to get the majority to be aware of what we're having. And it's the same sign up that we did for no soliciting, right? When back in the day, whenever, but it was by neighborhood back then, right? It wasn't by, so now residents' addresses are going to be listed.
Yeah, I would encourage you to think of this as the no-call list. So it's an individual basis for each home, and that's how we deal with it. It's not considered corporate or through an HOA or through neighborhoods.
Okay.
Second point of clarification, talk to me about enforcement. how's this going to be enforced? Are we going to have a billion calls going to our law enforcement agents saying, hey, somebody knocked on my door? Or is it going to be, I get the information they leave and then I call the city and say, hey, this guy just showed up at my house. How's this going to be enforced?
No, that's a great question. I will say there are criminal penalties, the $500 fine. So we can enforce it criminally through the police department. We also have the ability to enforce it civilly through the licensing and the permitting of revocation. So we'll have both options available to us. And obviously we'd want to work with the police department on the priority of calls. But both of those options are open and available.
I have a few questions if everyone else is finished.
I yield my time.
Okay, so we've always had a peddlers, like people had to come and sign up to get a peddler's license, so that's not changed. So what I think some people are concerned, like when the peddlers come and knock on your door and they, like they're knocking on a no-knock list, and it's the peddlers that get the citation, not necessarily the company that gets the citation, which, I mean, they should know the rules. I agree with that. But the $500 fine that goes to the peddlers, is there some way that we can then make, if the peddlers keep going, if we have 5 or 6 peddlers from the same company, is there a way then that we could do some kind of a bigger enforcement to a company? Because the company's not being fined. It's their people that are trying to make a living and out peddling, you know what I mean, that are going door to door that are getting the fines. I don't know if there's a way that we can like pull, I mean, I guess after a while, do we just keep writing $500 citations to the peddlers, or at what point do we just pull their license altogether saying you can't sell stuff in Broken Arrow?
Right, there is a process and a procedure in there for license revocation, and so that is an option. I will say, though, the licenses aren't issued corporately. They're issued to a person, okay. And so we have to enforce it at that level. Mm-hmm. And so my solution or my suggestion would be you just enforce it with the agents that they're operating with, and that's how we enforce it, because the company can only work through their agents. And so if their agents are repeatedly violating the no-knock list, we would definitely look at pursuing the license revocation for each of the agents in addition to the $500 fines.
I'm really glad to see this brought back. I know when Chief Arnold came, he had talked to me about having this in a city that he used to work in, and we had talked about it, and I just told him, I like the no solicitation neighborhoods that we had, and eventually we decided, I guess, that we couldn't have them. And I know a lot of neighborhoods were disappointed that we weren't able to have them. I told them to keep their signs up, and sometimes that helped and sometimes it didn't. But I am glad to see that we're trying to help our neighborhoods to still have some kind of tool to keep the annoying peddlers away, if that's what they choose to. I do understand too, because if someone moves and then you sell your house, maybe the next people like peddlers and like to be, maybe, yeah, all the things. And so I see where every year where they would have to sign up. So would they just sign up online, that they just to get the renewal would be online?
Yes, ma'am. I would defer to Rocky Hinkle. His group would handle that part of the process.
Yeah, so when they apply, it's good for a year, so they'll get a notice like 30 days out that they need to renew their license or not renew it.
And I know Councilor Green asked this. I don't know why I didn't absorb it. So does the police go out to enforce it, or are you as code enforcement enforce it? Who's writing the $500 ticket?
We'd have the option for both police enforcement and also for the civil enforcement through the licensure.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
So this is just an ordinance, so we won't have any action right now?
Yeah, the recommendation is to preview the ordinance and set it for final adoption, and then we would anticipate bringing this back to you in 2 weeks for final adoption and implementation.
Okay.
Seeing how the ordinance has been previewed, I'll make a motion that it be brought back for final adoption in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item 10B is consideration, discussion, and possible preview of an ordinance closing a water line easement on property located north of West Florence Street. east of South Azalea Avenue, Tulsa County. Rocky Hinkle.
Good evening again, Mayor. This is a closure of a water line easement located north of Florence Street and east of Azalea or Mingo Road. Staff recommends you preview the ordinance and set it for adoption.
Any discussion? Seeing none, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we set this for adoption in 2 weeks.
Second.
Roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item C, consideration, discussion, and possible preview of an ordinance closing easement on property located north Houston Street, east of 9th Street. Rocky.
Yes, this is a closure for a detention easement located north of Houston Street and east of 9th Street. Staff recommends you preview the ordinance and set it for adoption.
Any discussion?
Make a motion, we preview it and send it for adoption in 2 weeks.
Second.
Roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item D, consideration, discussion, and possible preview of an ordinance closing a water line easement. Rocky.
This is a closure of a water line easement located north of Houston Street, east of 9th Street. Staff recommends you preview the ordinance and set it for adoption.
Any discussion?
Motion to set for adoption in 2 weeks.
Second.
Roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item 11A, consideration, discussion, and possible adoption of ordinance number 3909.
This ordinance is a rezoning case, BAZ 2565-2025, which was rezoned from AG Agricultural to CG Commercial General, containing about 17 acres. Was approved by City Council on February 3rd, 2026. Staff recommends that you adopt ordinance number 3909 and approve the emergency clause. I just want to follow up, Mayor, from the last meeting that this project is in reference to the Walmart on Kenosha and Oneida. And as part of that project, the west side of Oneida will be expanded to 3 lanes from the intersection north to their property line. There will also be a left turn lane on Kenosha and a right deceleration lane on Kenosha as well.
Okay, so currently, it's 2 with a center turning lane, just probably halfway through their property.
So they'll extend the rest of it on the west side of Oneida to the
Okay.
north of their property line.
Okay.
When you say they, does that mean us, the city?
Nope, the developer.
I'm sorry, the
The
developer?
The developer, okay.
Just one question if I can, Mayor. Based on our standards,
Yes, sir. Of
okay.
course.
I know there's a lot of Wagner County unincorporated out there, but this is going to be to city standards.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Motion to approve 26-730.
Second.
Green.
call.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item B is the emergency clause.
So second.
I'm sorry.
Vice Mayor.
Who moved that? Vice Mayor?
I moved it fast.
Yes, you did. And second was
Lisa.
Councilor Ford? Okay. Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item C, consideration, discussion, and possible adoption of ordinance 3913.
This is a closure of a detention easement located south of Omaha Street and west of 37th Street. Staff recommends you adopt ordinance number 3913 and approve the subsequent emergency clause.
Any discussion?
Move to approve ordinance 3913.
Second.
Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item D is the emergency clause.
Move to approve the emergency clause.
Second.
Roll call.
Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
I'm going to have to request extra pay tonight, not having vote cast. My voice is getting
Oh, my
exaggerated.
goodness. Item E, consideration, discussion, and possible adoption of ordinance 3916.
You were denied.
This is a closure of a utility easement south of Kenosha and east of Midway Road. There is a scrivener's error in the document. It says west. It is east. The exhibit is correct. Staff recommends that you adopt ordinance number 3916 and set it for, or adopt ordinance number 3916 and approve the subsequent emergency clause.
I'm sorry, what was the scrivener's error?
It's
It should be east of Midway.
Okay.
Any discussion?
The lowest paid counselor makes a motion to approve 3916.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item F is the emergency clause.
So move for emergency.
Second?
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item G is consideration, discussion, and possible adoption of ordinance number 3917.
This is a closure of a utility easement north of Houston Street and east of 9th Street. Staff recommends you adopt ordinance number 3917 and approve the subsequent emergency clause.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 3917.
Second.
Here's no discussion, we'll second.
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item H is the emergency clause.
Make a motion to approve the emergency clause.
Second.
Roll call.
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rocky. All right, item 12 is remarks and inquiries by governing body members. Just reminding everyone that tomorrow starts Tuesdays in the Park, 7 p.m. I don't know who the band is, but it'll be amazing. And we have 5 Tuesdays in the Parks this year, so that's really great. So, anyone else?
I'd like to make a comment to compliment my fellow counselor, Mr. Green. He had made a party for our youth city council, kind of the year-end party. It was really a great event, and it did some charcoaling and cooking, and they really had a good time. So I think it's good for our youth to get together and just relax and do that. And Councilor Green did a good job of hosting that for them, and I really appreciated it very much.
I think the whole council should have been invited to that.
Yes.
So how to post it. Good job.
We'll have a council cookout.
Okay, okay.
Chef Boyardee will take care of you.
Wonderful. Anyone else? Seeing none, City Manager?
Mayor and Council, just one thing. I wanted to thank you for approving the Citizens Engagement Academy. Very excited about implementing that. There's not many of those around. And so once again, I think Broken Arrow is going to be setting the standards of communication and transparency for his citizens. So Curtis needs to be commended that he was given the direction and he came up with, I think, something that's going to be very spectacular, but also a living, breathing type program that can be adjusted based on the feedback of our residents, just like we do with the other programs that we have. So thank you very much for that. That's all I have.
Thank you. All right. We have an executive session, so entertain a motion for a brief recess.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Call the Broken Arrow Municipal Authority to order. Roll call?
Pickle. Green.
Here.
Ford.
Here.
Parks.
Here.
Wimpy.
Here. Item 3A is approval, oh, just kidding. It's a consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed?
Seeing none, I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as it stands.
Second?
Roll call?
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Item 5, there are no public hearings, appeals, presentations, recognitions, or awards. There is no general authority business. Remarks by governing body members? Seeing none. City Manager?
I have none, Madam Chair.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Roll call?
Green.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. Call the Broken Arrow Economic Development Authority to order. Roll call?
Pickle. Green.
Here.
Ford.
Here.
Parks.
Here.
Wimpy.
Here. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Roll
Green.
call.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Wimpy.
Yes. There are no public hearings, appeals, presentations, recognitions, or awards. No general authority business. Any remarks by governing body members? Seeing none, City Manager?
I do, Madam Chair. Just one item I wanted to mention is that I want to take this opportunity to thank the Tourism Board, the Visit Broken Arrow Board, and actually they're moving this film incentive program forward and the other things that they're looking at. mean, I've attended a number of their meetings, made a couple presentations, and it's a really good group. They're focused on helping improve that industry, and I just want to acknowledge their efforts and the efforts of Michaela as well as Aaron Hoffner. They do a great job, and so I just want to publicly recognize them.
All right.
Before we adjourn, I know I said no, but I believe we had an open house for the Chamber and EDC for their
We
new
did.
location. I wasn't able to attend. I was serving at a funeral, but congratulations on that, and I look forward to being able to come down and see it sometime in the near future.
Yes, it was wonderful, except for the rain, but that was fine. It's fine.
Yeah, we're gonna have to I'll have to go with you. I was in Florida, so I wasn't able to attend as well, but.
It was well attended.
Yeah, it looked like it was.
And I did eat for both of you a little bit.
Okay,
So I knew you wasn't there, so I took care of that.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Saw those pictures.
All right. We do have an executive session, so I'll entertain a motion to take a brief recess to clear the room.
So moved.
Roll call.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
Nobody.
Who would like to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Green,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wimpy.